At Adventure Consulting, our goal is that in 30 years, the average 30-year-old has a fairly thorough knowledge of the populated continents. The way that we're doing that, our mission statement, is to make traveling the world an accessible way to build human capital. So that's for, think, tech companies, universities and colleges, social groups whose social members want to travel. We help them build physical travel platforms so that they can do that. We try to leave the programming up to the group, the company, the university. These are already world-class institutions. They've got world-class ideas for where they want to go, what they want to do, who they want to see, etc. Although, obviously, we do programming for places as part of our consulting business. We've got, say, five reasons, kind of off the top of our heads, why folks would want to do this. Morale is one. Your people want to do it. The thing I want to talk about today is under the corporate culture development team building category. The other two, or three really, obviously human capital, innovation targeting, and the economics scale. To my understanding, the reason folks haven't done it yet is mostly for cost, slightly for technical issues, although those have recently been solved. Things like Wi-Fi, the platform itself. And so we're kind of just pushing this idea forward. Under the corporate culture development team building category. So think about what that is now. It's mostly talks given to banks, to tech companies, right? It's folks. DEI is sort of on its way out, but that was the main thrust for the last couple years. Folks are doing talks on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and so you're acknowledging your implicit racism, etc., etc. That's with the Trump administration kind of on its way out. It's fading a little bit. And I don't mean to say anything about that other than that it is. That's sort of been the trend the last handful of years. So my whole point in this is just imagine what it is now. You're in a boardroom. You're listening to folks give their talk. You're going through some practice, some simulation, some whatever. But it's all in the office. And so it seems like it makes sense. You can now, if you've got the whole globe at your fingertips, so to speak, via these travel platforms, or at least the continent's going to be pretty immediate. It's probably going to be North America, right? So we're thinking from where folks are starting. Obviously, the vision from our end is that multinationals who are already operating on most or all of the populated continents would set up platforms so folks can see all of all of the continents that they're already on. So instead of just being in the boardroom, you can bring these experiences, right? And the programming is not necessarily going to change. It's just going to provide life-changing experiences that aren't in the boardroom. So if your folks are into the mountains, if they're into the beach, if they're into cities and tourism, whatever they're into, wherever they want to go there and do it. The sort of stereotypical example is like the trust fall for team building, right? If you're trust falling off of small to medium-sized rocks in the wilderness, that's going to have a much bigger impact for what people remember and what they're feeling and what they're going through, right? It's the ropes course. It's stuff like that versus off of the chair in the office, the cubicle chair in the office, right? So all of a sudden, if you want to build real culture at these places, if you want people to work more or work more efficient or be more bought into sort of the overall mission, if you commit to, say, over 5 or 10 years, helping your employees see the world or the continent or whatever, all of a sudden you've given them a ton of trust and a ton of places and experiences that they want, that they maybe weren't even going to be able to get to on their vacation. Certainly they're going to have a much wider array of experiences with their colleagues that they weren't going to have otherwise. You're not going to go to a lot of places. Probably, like, if all of a sudden you have access to a whole continent, by definition of seeing most of a continent, you're going to see a lot of places that you weren't going to see on vacation. And that's just straightforward. You're not going to go to a lot of small places that you're going to get to on the way around a continent, or in the oceans, etc., because boats and planes and trains, and so we do all of that. Even though the sort of bread and butter of what we offer are RV and bus build-outs. So all of a sudden, you just have access to an insane amount of experiences that you didn't have before. And so when you're building corporate culture, team corporate culture and team development, you've all of a sudden you can plug in so many experiences. I'll never forget the folks that I climbed mountains with, even though I'm not in touch with them regularly. It was just sort of a one-off. We meet up, say, in Colorado. We climb a 14er. I'm not going to forget them. I'm not going to forget those experiences. And so now all of a sudden, companies, universities, you start doing this with college kids. And granted, college is a place where you're going to meet folks you're probably going to be friends with, a handful of folks anyway, you're going to be friends with the rest of your life. Certainly that was the case for me, and anybody else I know has at least a handful of college friends still, a couple decades down the road. It's only going to increase with that. You want your alumni to be tight-knit. These types of experiences are what will cement that in ways that hasn't been done for colleges before. And then lastly, social groups. You're kind of social groups sort of cement folks together in a way that institutions don't necessarily, just because you're spending your free time hiking in the woods or whatever your social group does. This just sort of gives you an avenue to do even more. And so in that line, that's the main thrust of that argument. To get into some of the details will come in future videos, but this literally will change the way you do workplace learning, corporate culture development, team building, stuff like that. Sure, like the once a year vacation to the Maldives or whatever to debrief with the team kind of a thing. There's no reason that needs to change. It's just like throughout the year, then a week, a weekend, a month, whatever the time frame is that the institution picks, it's just going to blow things wide open for life-changing experiences for folks. And so we'll see you in the next one.